This old assassin just wanted to retire and live peacefully. But his own boss sent assassins to tear him apart to end this chapter once and for all. The boss made a grave mistake, and he was fated to realize it on that particular day. Welcome back to Paramount Recapped. I don't have many subscribers, but your single comment is a ray of hope to motivate me. As Duncan Visa nears the big 5-0, he figures it's time for a routine health check. The guy looks great for his age, especially considering his past. Still, the doctor can't help but notice the metal bits buried in his body and the battle scars scattered across his skin. Nothing life-threatening, though, other than Duncan's stubborn smoking habit. To the outside world, he might look like your regular, quiet guy nearing retirement. But those in the know recognize him as a legendary hitman, better known by his chilling nickname, the Black Kaiser. He spent his whole life working for this shadowy organization called Damocles, a company that hires elite killers and then retires them quietly when they hit 50. The retirement gift? A sweet $200,000 donation to someone mysterious and a hefty pension. In Duncan's case, his personal accountant drops the bomb. He'll be getting a whopping $8 million in 2 weeks when he officially hits 50. While Duncan is keeping things low-key, halfway across the globe in Chile, another hitman named Michael Green is partying like there's no tomorrow. He's already treating himself to his early retirement with his girl, Cindy, and more drugs than a pharmacist could track. Life's good for about 5 more minutes. Suddenly, his wild party ends with a bullet. A sniper takes him out mid-celebration. Turns out, Cindy and a crew of other pro assassins, Fundo, Carl, Hilda, and Alex, were actually sent there to kill him. Michael tries to put up a fight, insisting he's not that old, but the team makes quick work of him. Back in the States, Duncan shows up at Michael's funeral and meets with Vivian, another hitman who has taken more of a behind-the-scenes role lately. She now handles assignments and logistics for Damocles. Vivian tells Duncan that the company has one last job lined up for him, a revenge mission for Michael's murder. She says it's just some Mexican assassin hiding out in Belarus. To sweeten the deal, she dangles $1 million payment in front of him. Duncan doesn't respond much, grabs the documents, and leaves the restaurant. You'd think he was just blowing it off, but the wheels were already turning in his head. Back in Triple Oak, Montana, where Duncan lives, he starts digging around. Damocles keeps bugging him through their private network, but he destroys every SIM card they use to contact him. Vivian ups the offer to $2 million, half up front and the rest after the kill. Duncan doesn't fully commit, but tells her to go ahead and upload all the intel to the secure server. Vivian takes this back to her boss, Mr. Blutt, who has a hidden agenda. He's planning to sell Damocles and is boosting its value by secretly offing retiring hitmen. Why pay pensions when you can just kill them and pocket the funds thanks to a sneaky clause in their contracts? Duncan, having the biggest pension of them all, is the crown jewel in Blutt's twisted plan. He thinks giving Duncan a final mission is the perfect setup. Vivian warns him that trying to double-cross Duncan is playing with fire. The Black Kaiser isn't someone you screw over. But Blutt isn't hearing it. He's dead set on carrying out the plan. Meanwhile, Duncan takes matters into his own hands. Without telling Vivian, he heads to Belarus. He pretends to be a maintenance guy at the hotel where his supposed target is staying and makes enough noise to tick off the man inside. When the guy finally opens the door, Duncan attacks and nails him, literally, to the wall. As he's going through the place, he finds a file that stuns him. It's all about him. That's when it clicks. This whole mission was a setup to get him killed. Duncan grabs a drill, not for carpentry, but for answers. He tries to get the hitman to spill who sent him, but the guy's just as clueless. So Duncan finishes the job and takes a picture of the dead body as proof. Then, he calls Vivian and pretends like he's just getting started. "I'm in," he says, before sending her the photo and demanding full payment within 24 hours. "Someone try to set me up? If it's you, you better pray it's not." Vivian freaks out and runs to Blutt. She explains that Duncan already did the job and now wants the rest of his money. She's furious and insists they pay him the full amount, along with the pension, or risk serious consequences. Blutt agrees to release the rest of the money, but says no to the pension. Instead, he orders his assassin squad to kill Duncan. Unaware of the new hit squad coming after him, Duncan returns home. But the past won't leave him alone. His memories of old missions, bloody, violent, haunting, keep playing in his mind. One day, he notices someone new in the neighborhood. A woman named Camille just moved into the house next door. They bump into each other at local stores and restaurants, and Duncan starts to pick up on her troubled vibe. She seems nervous all the time, flinching at every noise like she's living in fear. Still, something about her makes Duncan open up. They start talking more often, and their connection grows. Eventually, she asks about his past. "I worked in funerals," he says dryly. He tries to help her feel safe, even giving her a gun and teaching her how to use it. But Camille can't do it. Just holding the weapon messes with her. Clearly, she's got some deep trauma. Elsewhere, the specialist team tasked with killing Duncan is on the move. They track down his accountant and put serious pressure on him to give up Duncan's location. The poor guy hands over details about 4 properties Duncan owns in different states. But he doesn't actually know where Duncan is living now, so the assassins kill him anyway. They check out each property one by one. Their first stop is Florida. Cindy, dressed to impress as usual, shows up at the apartment only to realize it's been rented out. The current tenant mistakes her for some kind of adult services worker, which ends with Cindy giving him a proper beatdown. No sign of Duncan, though. Frustrated, they keep searching, and at each of the remaining locations, they slaughter the tenants out of paranoia. It's like they're leaving a trail of destruction wherever they go. Eventually, they notice something odd in Duncan's bank records. He's been sending $200,000 at regular intervals to someone through a bank located in Triple Oak, Montana. That's enough of a lead for them. Hilda phones her boyfriend, Mr. Blutt, and assures him that it's only a matter of time now. They're headed to Montana, and she promises that Duncan won't make it out alive this time. So, Duncan's out doing something sweet, shopping for another little present for Camille. He's heading back home, probably thinking about how she'll react when he bumps into Cindy. She plays the damsel in distress card perfectly, pretending her car just gave up on her. Oh, and surprise, her phone's dead too. Classic setup. Of course, Duncan, being the nice guy he is, offers to help. With no way to call for assistance and darkness setting in, she somehow convinces him to let her crash at his place for the night. She even drops a hint that help will magically show up around 10 a.m. the next morning. Everything about this screams trap, but Duncan plays along for now. Cindy doesn't waste time. She leans in, flashing a flirtatious smile, and tells him he's attractive for someone older than her dad. Flirty, bold, and obviously trying to lower his guard. One thing leads to another, and they start getting close, too close. Meanwhile, Fundo and his gang of elite killers are setting up nearby, getting ready to take Duncan out. Cindy's role is simple: distract and set up the kill shot. She lines up everything so Fundo can make the hit from outside. But right before he pulls the trigger, Duncan senses something's off. In a split second, he shifts, and instead of taking the bullet himself, Cindy catches him in the shoulder. Chaos erupts. Duncan dives out of bed, scrambling for cover as bullets tear through the walls. Amidst the chaos, he spots an opening and hurls an axe straight into Cindy. It lands perfectly. She's gone. Before the dust settles, Hilda and Carl storm in, but Duncan's already disappeared. While they search the house, Duncan's already on the offensive. He's tracked Fundo's location and reaches the sniper's hideout. Without wasting time, Duncan eliminates Fundo and snatches his rifle. Using its thermal vision, he zeroes in on Hilda's breath as she lurks nearby. One shot, and she's down. Then Carl jumps him from behind in a surprise move. Duncan barely reacts in time, but manages to take him out too. With the immediate threats gone, he starts piecing things together. Searching their gear, he comes across a hotel room key. That's his next destination. When he gets to the hotel, he finds Jane, spaced out, lost in her own world of drugs. She's high as a kite, but still able to spill some critical info. She lets slip that Camille's been taken by Alexei, one of the assassins. Apparently, they'd figured out Duncan had developed feelings for her, and they were using that against him. Duncan rushes to Camille's place, but it's too late. She's gone. Meanwhile, over in the lap of luxury, Mr. Blutt, yes, the very same boss who ordered all this, is fuming. His elite crew has been wiped out, and even his girlfriend Cindy's been taken down. Vivian, ever the sarcastic one, gives him a cheeky grin and reminds him, "Didn't I warn you about this?" She jokes about him finding another girlfriend, teasing him with his hot looks. Then she brings it up again: just pay Duncan his damn money and end this madness. But Blutt isn't having it. Now it's personal. Duncan, on the other hand, knows he can't do this alone. He reaches out to his old friend Porter, a former assassin with brains and experience. If anyone understands Blutt's twisted mind, it's him. He spills everything to Porter, hoping for insight. Porter tells him that Blute's trying to tie up loose ends and get rid of Duncan before his birthday hits. He also believes Camille is being held at Blute's mansion. Everything seems helpful until Duncan's about to leave. Porter betrays him, slips something in his drink, and Duncan passes out cold. Turns out, Porter made a deal with Blute, turn Duncan in, get a nice payday. Duncan wakes up chained up in some underground chamber. Blute has 4 days till Duncan's birthday and plans to torture him bit by bit until then. To break him emotionally, he shows him pictures of Camille, trying to make Duncan lose hope. She's being kept in a drugged, confused state by Jane. By the 3rd day, Blute starts getting a little too close with his favorite knife. He tries stabbing Duncan again, but the blade snaps against a metal plate that had been surgically embedded in Duncan's body ages ago. Blute loses it. In a fit of rage, he cuts Duncan's face and stabs one of his eyes. Duncan spends the night soaked in blood, in agonizing pain, but not broken. He uses the broken piece of the knife to pick his lock. The next morning, when the guards stroll in, expecting to find a half-dead man, Duncan goes full beast mode and slaughters them. Blute arrives just in time to see the aftermath. Duncan cuts the power and starts hunting down every remaining guard in the shadows. The mansion becomes a bloodbath. Despite being injured, Duncan manages to escape. He heads to see Jasmine, a black market arms dealer and an old friend. She patches him up and equips him with the kind of weapons that could wipe out a small army. Once he's ready, Duncan rings up Vivian. He offers himself in exchange for Camille's safety. Vivian agrees, but behind the scenes, she and Blute are cooking up another betrayal. Duncan sets a trap. He heads to an abandoned warehouse, sets up a massive machine gun with laser targeting, and calls Vivian again. He arranges to meet at a train station the next day, but deliberately leaves his phone on so they can trace him. As expected, Vivian and her crew show up, heavily armed and ready to kill. Among them is Alexei. Duncan gives her a chance to walk away, but she refuses. She thinks she's in control. Just as they prepare to open fire, Duncan raises his hands. In that split second, his machine gun activates, ripping through the entire crew like paper. Everyone except Vivian. He lets her live. Duncan's real target is still out there, Mr. Blute. Watching the carnage unfold on his surveillance feed, Blute panics. He tells his remaining guards to lock everything down tight. But when Duncan gets to the mansion, most of them flee. They've heard what he did and want no part of it. Blute scrambles to have Camille brought to him, but it's too late. Duncan, now fully in his Black Kaiser mode, storms in and meets Blute face to face. With one brutal swing of his axe, he beheads him. The nightmare is over. Duncan finds Camille, brings her back home, and helps her recover. As she's resting, he looks around her room and notices some old newspaper clippings. They're about a family massacre years ago. His stomach sinks. That hit. It was one of his jobs. And the only survivor was a little girl, Camille. He's overwhelmed. All this time, the person he had unknowingly destroyed was the one he'd grown to care about most. He had donated to her over the years, thinking it would ease the guilt, but he never imagined they'd cross paths again. Suddenly, he feels a presence behind him. Camille stands there, gun in hand. She's shaking. Her voice breaks as she tells him she still sees the face of the man who ruined her life. Duncan, tears in his eye, doesn't defend himself. He admits everything. He knows he can't change the past. If she needs to kill him to heal, he tells her to go ahead. Camille pulls the trigger, but the shot misses. In the final scene, she turns to him and says she wants to know the full truth. Who gave that deadly order? Duncan nods. He's going to help her find those answers. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.